What is our
Still store.
still store? To get into our still store, we need
Fly key.
fly key. Fly key needs to come up in green. So those of you sitting back, if you want to move in a little closer, you can.
I can actually see fly
Okay.
phone.
So fly key does a lot of different things, but for us, it's going to be our still store. We're going to push down and hold select DVE. The SEL's for select, and right below it you see DVE digital video effect. Getting into our still store is considered a digital video effect. While we hold it down in the preset bus, we're going to still store. And the menu comes up. And the neat thing is, all we have to worry about is what position 0 is, the yellow graphics. And if you look, it says still store, and to the right of that it says off. So to turn your still store on, push the 0 button. You notice out to the left where it says still store, it's telling you the button 0, and the numbers are underneath the button if you need to look at those and reference those. We push that button one time, and you'll notice it changed the still store from off to on. Now, it may not come up on the state police still, no big deal. Go to your mats, that's where you got your color background and you got your colorization of graphics when you use the matte fill option. Use the hue knob and you'll see 4 stills, but the one you want is the state police. So just rotate that. It's only going to go through those 4 options you see listed out to the side where you see the green print. And then after you've gotten the correct still and you see it visually on your screen, turn your menu off to get rid of all the graphics. And so we've gotten into the still store, and we've gotten the proper still, and that part's good. And it will stay on that still until we go back and change it. So you don't have to worry about anything messing it up. So now we're getting ready to set up for the chroma key itself. So we're just going to select key 2 to start with. Key 2 is going to be the actual chroma key. In a moment we'll feed key 1 to add the still to it. As we do a chroma key, remember key source bus is so you can marry 2 video sources at one time. Well, in the case of a chroma key, it's a little different. The chroma key, we're telling the switcher which video source to strip one particular color out of. In this case, it's going to be green. So we've got camera 1 selected here on what we would call the key source bus. On program, we have to select camera 2, and why do we have to select camera 2?
You're saving it.
Well, don't use the term why it's set up. We have to understand why we're doing what we're doing because it'll help you with your setup.
That's how it's saved.
You're on camera 2 before you go to the chroma key, right?
So
if you
first.
right, so if you just turn back 1 page, right now you're setting up the chroma key page, right? So if you just turn your script back 1 page, you'll
Your
see
first
you're on
shot
camera
is
2.
camera 2.
Well, let's not think of it as our first shot, and it is. I understand that. But here's how you have to look at it as we do the setup. It's always going to be what video source are we on prior to what we're setting up. We're setting up chroma key using camera 1, so we're asking ourselves, what video source were we on prior to that? Well, it turns out camera 2. Now, it's going to be different when we get to weather, so that's why I want you thinking about looking at your script and asking yourself, what video source am I on prior to what I'm setting up? Does that make sense to everybody? So in this case, it does have to be camera 2. Okay? So that's why I've got camera 2 in program. Now, we need to do a chroma key, and you have a button here labeled in the effects key. Again, you're using key 2. You've got your chroma key, so select it, and it must go green. Okay, it must go green. Now, who knows where the crosshairs are going to show up? Could be up over the town's face or down at the bottom of the screen, but the key is you just need to move the joystick and so that you're somewhere on the solid green area. Now, if you happen to see a shadow out there on the green, it looks a little darker than the rest of the green, you want to go for the bright green. You don't want to work with the shadowed area. Okay? And so what we're going to do is we're going to tell the switcher, that color right there, the green, I want to save that in the memory of the switcher, and I want to strip that color out so I can add the police still to take its place. So up here, you notice it says grab, and it's the far upper right button. And so I've put the positioner on green, and I want the switcher to grab green, so I'm going to push the button and release it.
Oh.
And you'll notice that the crosshairs disappeared, and you're seeing like a double image of the trash can. Why? Well, here's camera 2 on program, here's camera 1 on key source. Now I'm going to switch that in a moment, but so far so good, right?
Right.
Okay, but I don't want 2 images of a trash can. I'd really like to have I'd like to have the news anchor and the still. So you need to press background key 1, key 2 all at the same time. So you want these 4 all lit up at the same time. Dissolve you can set way ahead of time because you open with a
Dissolve. Fade.
With dissolve, fade, same thing, right? All right, now, odds are it's not going to be clipped cleanly, so in the effects keyer box, we're going to dial in the clip and the gain so that it looks just dandy, okay?
Okay.
All right. So far, so good?
So far, so great.
So it looks good. Now we need to save that into the memory. The switcher's set up correctly. Again, we're looking at our preset bus, and all is good in our world. Turn on the memory, and it should go green. Make sure, if it's your first memory function we're doing, the first memory function starts at 0, 0. So if your switcher does not default to 0, 0, use the up and down arrows to achieve that. Okay. Now, so far so good. Now, you notice this button says reverse. That's for something else. But if you look to the right of it, it says learn. You're wanting it to learn the setup you've just done on your switcher. So select learn. It will light up. Now you have to tell the switcher where you want to save it. Well, 0, 0, and you push the white button, which is also number
0.
0. And when you do, then the light will go out and it'll go back to its auto mode for transitions, but your switcher is set up.
Now, when you to bring it in, just the first one.
To bring it in,
Yeah.
okay, so let's just do this and let's do, okay, so if you